Welcome one, welcome all back to the Expo Hall. It's Pretty Hair, it's Hi-Rez once again. He was on Twitter. We got a lot of new things for you here today. You've seen Battlegrounds hopefully a couple times throughout the course of this event. I'm here today in my four-piece suit. Thank you so much. And Hi-Rez, you're rocking something a little bit special. Merchandise.game. They have sponsored the prize pool of today's event. The very special, we're going to have probably multiple games of Paladins Battlegrounds going on. And I couldn't be more excited. Did you take a selfie over there? What are you doing?
I'm reading Twitch chat.
Twitch chat?
Yeah. I wanted to see if they want something special.
If they want something special, we've got it here for them. We're going to be playing as much Paladins Battlegrounds as we can possibly fit in before the start of the Paladins World Championship Finals. Fnatic and Nodus Vincere will be squaring off in about an hour or so, guys. This is going to be a lot of fun. But first, if this is your first time joining us, you've really been missing out up until this point. We've got a brand new game mode in Paladins. And Hi-Rez, tell us a little bit about what you've got cooking up.
It's a 100-person Battle Royale mode.
100.
In this particular case today, we have how many people playing?
I believe we have 72-ish is what I normally see when we get into lobby.
Actually, we have...
Maybe more. 92.
92 today.
We turned it up to 11.
All right. It's as many stations as we can muster during the show floor. So 92 people will be playing online for these next 2, 3, 4 matches that we get in. They are in teams of 4 in this particular format. When the game starts up, they'll choose their classes.
Awesome.
And then it's off to the races.
So we've got a couple of twists on some Paladins mechanics you might know or you might recognize. There is no item store in this game mode. Instead, it's a whole new item system that you guys have cooked up special for this specific mode.
In this mode, you run around and you find the loot to give you all the strong stuff, and it's very strong. What we're looking for specifically are the legendary cards. The legendary cards drop from Zeppelins, and if you get those, you get to be extra powerful because they are ridiculously overpowered cards.
As is anything, guys. And of course, no Paladins Battlegrounds tournament would be complete without Hi-Rez Joe. There he is, Big Joe Guns Mahoney in the back. The two-time back-to-back Battleground champion. He fell a little short yesterday. He made a damn good run. And you might recognize him right there on the desk. We've got a couple of special guests as well scattered around the Expo Hall. Bitey is around, Incon's around. They've put a team together, and they're going to give this one a shot. You also saw up there on that last graphic, you know, there is still those traditional mechanics from the Battle Royale, the Death Fog that encroaches, that closes in. And like Hi-Rez mentioned, here are
and here's the start.
The
8 characters, 2 damage, 2 flank, 2 front line, 2 support. They are picked out of a random pool. Joe is going to be selecting one. Who do you want to see today? Do you want to see him maybe play Ruckus?
We've got Ruckus. We haven't seen him play a frontliner yet.
Well, we'll give him a choice between Ruckus.
His team has 3 frontliners.
Cassie, Ruckus,
they do need a support. I'm just saying, if you want to go the support.
You know, there's no need for support.
We're beefing it up.
Come on.
Brother.
Come on, Hi-Rez Joe. He's going to play Ruckus. He played Canessa for us so far.
This is fun, though. This is fun. This is
and
teammate Bitey. Look, he's up on his pro account there. He's got Cassie.
Bitey's playing Cassie. All
and
right.
He's got the Borkers by his side. The coach ready to take these boys to victory. He has got, I got to say, this is dangerous because they've got a professional flex player in their back line with 3 beef castles, 3 frontliners in front of Coach Bitey. He is going to be a difficult target to take down.
And that's what's a lot of fun in this match, too, because you can select more than one of the same class.
Yeah.
So you can have ridiculous compositions. And there are items to counter ridiculous compositions as well. So if you decided to go old Grovers, as we've seen one of the matches, the Grover Kill Squad from several days ago, they can get countered by a no-heal type of card.
Yeah, and similar to that, this composition, 3 frontliners, a lot of shielding, of course, they're going to be leaning on. And there is items that do provide similar effects to like Wrecker. So if they run into somebody with that, they are going to
the shields will get wrecked because it's 250, 400%, I think, damage to shields. Some other numbers that are exceptionally strong that way. So as the game starts, various players will get into the match. There will be a holding spot for them. And,
oh boy, this is going to be awesome, man.
Usually we get the jumps.
This is going to be really interesting because as we get in a game, There is 92 players. Lionheart with his glasses up there, locked in, ready to go.
Look, he's taking this very seriously. He wants us plushie McCoy, I think.
Lionheart's a hell of a player, too. Some of these devs, you know, they've come and gone from the scene, some of them coming as casters.
And here we are. We are joining.
This is a very special
So
part.
this is probably Joe, right?
Of any Battle Royale. Now spectating Hi-Rez Joe. There he is, the Beef Castle himself. And there are some items, some that you may recognize from the item store in traditional Paladins, some that you may not. There's going to be some defensive items that just give you flat health percentage based off of your base HP. Of course, these are going to work best when scaling up with a front line. So if Joe and his squad are getting outfitted in the types of items that they have been getting outfitted with all weekend long, they are going to be really, really difficult to take down.
Is it obligatory to jump during this phase?
I think so at this point. The Battle Royale lobby is very sacred. This is open mic, 100 players blasting their music, shouting at each other, letting them know. This seems to be the most popular spot, this hill. There's a lot of other things going on. There's a couple structures, and what are those blimps, those zeppelins in the back line there?
Yeah, those will help transport each team to their proper location. This, unlike some of the other modes in other Battle Royale games, they tend to drop from the sky.
With just one trajectory.
Yeah, we bring you more to one of the locations. As you can see, this is the mini-map with highlighted areas. And they selected an area to drop at. It will bring your entire team to the selected area and drop you there so you can stay as a team.
There it is. And so you can actually see a couple of red dots polka dotting around the map. That is, in fact, other teams where they are dropping. So if aggression, early action frags are what you seek, Paladins Battlegrounds will enable you to do so beautifully. Hitting the ground, immediately we see Joe hop on his mount and get straight to the loot.
And he gets himself a green. And let's see, he's got 3 greens at this point. Those are very low-level loot.
Those are base-level items.
Base-level items. They don't provide that many stats, but they're better than nothing. Past greens, you will then get blues, which are about double the stats of the greens.
Okay.
Past that, you get the purples, which are, again, about double the stats of the blues.
And there we see that right there. Joe's picked up a blue. It's same stat as his previous boots.
And then past that, you will get legendaries, which are, again, more than double.
Fight? I think I hear a fight going on, Joe.
Already? Right? There are people fighting them.
Uh-oh, Joe's going for a big flank here. This could get ugly for this Pip. Trying to retreat up the stairs. Weightless is popped, but he's run straight into Joe. He doesn't realize what's happened.
Oh,
there's chickens running all around, and as Joe cleans up the squad, the hell are chickens doing in the battleground?
Well, you know, when you die, this is fantasy land, and you turn into a chicken first. And you can be revived from a chicken. Your teammates can revive you at that point.
So down but not out is the chicken state.
The chicken state is down or not out. You slowly bleed out.
Okay.
So that means that if nobody revives you the next, let's say, 30 seconds or whatever time it may be, you will still perish. But if you do get revived, you can come back from the chicken state and
get back in the action, get back in the looting here. You're seeing
still looking for more loot.
Red arrows pointing down, green arrows pointing up, beige arrows, and a recycled symbol there. So that's just a quick way to tell between an upgrade, a downgrade, or a side grade for that respective slot. If you have to loot in the heat of battle, like we saw Joe do, he actually hot swapped his weapon out to double the stats. He picked up a blue instead of a green and went back to fragging. See, those are both red arrows pointing down, meaning downgrades for their respective slots.
He still has no epics, and
Joe is off to a much worse start than he typically is.
Yeah, and they haven't gone after legendaries yet, which I'm surprised at. If you hit the mini-map, a lot of times you will see a spot with a legendary. Now, there are more people playing today than there were yesterday, so it's going to be harder to get some of those items.
They're learning.
Yeah, everybody knows to go for the legendaries now, so it's much harder to get them.
It's Hero Odin, one of the...
The Zeppelins do drop once every minute.
Okay.
So legendaries are readily available, but you do have to find them. They are usually a strong point of contention because everybody can see where they're dropping. And there's
ooh, this man's got himself an epic, but he does lack a boot slot. And you're seeing 50% max health as well as lifesteal coming through. So not one, but 2 stats once you get to that epic tier of loot. Interesting stuff there, interesting combinations, and so
70 people remaining. We've got 20 or so people killed.
68
so far. One thing you do have to remember for those of you that do play Paladins now, this map is about 300 to 400 times the size of a normal Paladins map. and there's a lot of area to explore. This is an alpha stage, or it says pre-alpha, which means that we're still populating the map a lot more and doing various work to get it to where we want it to be.
Ooh, they're hunting down that little purple chest icon on their map that has just appeared.
That purple chest icon is a legendary drop. It usually draws a lot of players to it.
Quick loot, double check. Joe doesn't need anything from that box.
I think the expression might be flies to honey or something like that. Is that
like moth to a flame.
Like a moth to a flame. That's actually a much better expression because it is a dangerous area. You come too close to it, there's usually big fights over it.
And we'll have to see that.
Now Joe just showed us, we looked down at the map, that was literally the size of an entire one of the maps in the Siege. Those building sets that you saw.
That was one of the building sets, that was right? One of the building sets. That was part of the
and
fish
there's
market.
The Zeppelin. There's the Zeppelin in the back.
There it is. Joe spotted it out. He's running after it. He's calling for the group up. Yes, follow me, help, help. He's going to hit him with the VGS. Mark the map. Actually, wow, that dropped really close to them. So as soon as Joe crests the hill, he and his squad are going to be able to hop into this legendary chest and see what it's got for them.
And there's usually a purple beam that comes out of the chest.
There it is.
So obviously, there it is.
What does that mean?
That noise is the fog converging. Are they going to let Joe have it? No, somebody else took it.
Snap.
Too late, Joe. Too late.
It was probably Bitey.
Too late. Oh, he wants to
swap it, noob. I am Joe. I am the primary. And talk about that, though. There is some strategy behind who gets what in Paladins Battlegrounds.
Now, you could have different strategies. One would be take your best player or a particular type of class that you think is going to dominate using this particular group comp and provide them with all the legendaries. Or you could just be greedy and keep them all for yourself, whoever gets there first.
Exactly. So we're looking at a bit of a different comp. Joe's played with a balanced composition every time. He played some long range. He played some short range. He played by himself. But this time they've got Bitey driving the back line. They've got 3 frontliners. So depending on what they find in this chest, say it's the weapon slot, it's going to provide damage, lifesteal, anti-heal, wrecker, damage to shields, that type of effects. Maybe that is best suited for Bitey, but if it was something like a chest piece that's going to give additional health, lifesteal, increased healing from other players, maybe that is a little bit better for Joe as he holds down the front line.
Now, I do have to say, for the most part, you want to keep those legendaries.
They're not going to be easy to let go.
Maybe if you have a tank, you don't want to give him the 100% extra damage legendary, and you want to give that to your DPS.
Wow, look at that. 50% max health. The Jacket of Glory also providing 1,000 health on a kill. So kill to heal 3 1/3 essentially is what Joe's rocking. And we talked about the stats, how they work on the items. The base tier, which is green, that's the common item. That is the lowest. That's the starting point. They're going to give you 1 stat. Blue will double that particular stat. Purple will further increase it as well as add 1 new stat. And then hopefully if we can get a legendary on Joe here, we'll be able to see what that item will provide.
There's another legendary. You see that purple beam in the sky?
There it is.
That's another legendary. Now it might be attracting another team. And
quick peek around.
Let's see how fast they grab it away from Joe. Yep.
Bitey went right in there and he scooped it.
Bitey knows what's going on.
I hate you.
This is becoming a standard game.
But frankly, that is exactly what we're going to be expecting. Uh-oh.
The fog is in. They better get out of there.
They got to get going. Thank God they have their mounts. There's a Zeppelin, but they are on what is called the fast side of the fog, depending on where the next play zone is actually marked. 1/2, see up there on the other side of the circle, that's the slow side as the fog is actually closest to the new play zone. They are on the far fast side, so they have to hop on their mounts here if they want to escape certain doom. I also noticed Joe's missing some health, and he's not getting out of combat regen while on his horse.
While on your mount, you will not regen health, but if he drops off the mount, he'll start healing again.
Wow, so you can't, man, I just got to say more and more, I'm liking all of these things that are incentivizing aggression. They, you know, are definitely neglecting that passive play. You can't just run around for the entirety of the match and expect to survive. You'll slowly get chipped down.
There was a battle somewhere around here because there's some chests in the open. That usually means a battle, and sure enough, there's another team.
There it is, Joe and the boys. Bitey looking to engage. They've got 1 Ruckus up on the hill. Cassie is well firing. There's a Pip up there as well. Fernando's still pretty healthy. He's going to be pushing the issue here. Joe and his squad have already found 2. He doesn't want to remain stationary for too long if he can help it. Fernando.
This is the other side. This is the other side of the team.
This is, no, this is still on their team. They're pushing up closer, though, to actually the Cassie, this Ruckus.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It looks like a 3. They've got 1 teammate straggling. Somebody needs to get in this fight. One of the other Ruckus players. They're falling Pretty low there. These guys may have just claimed some of the loot. Fernando, 900
Oh!
health. He's going to be put into the chicken state, down, but not out. Joe has lost one of his teammates now. One of the Ruckus is being taken down. It's just Joe and Bitey left alive.
But he did revive him.
Joe gets him back up. This is Fernando. He's going to get out of the combat, get his regeneration pulling. They'll have another chance. One of their teammates just lagging a little bit too far behind out of this fight. Bitey's about half HP. There's the Hexafire from the top rope, but it doesn't connect on him much. Nice job. Fernando has baited in this other Ruckus player. Bitey doing his best behind Joe to try and win this fight. They've gotten a couple of easy frags, but this is a much harder fight. They've lost their Fernando. 2 players remain. This was a 4v3 originally, but Joe and Bitey, they are not liking this fight. Joe's calling for the retreat. But I don't know if Bitey's going to be able to get out of there in time. He looks like he might be committed to this fight. Bitey at about 60% or so HP. Joe has gone full rogue. He has abandoned Bitey, and that is just rough.
This is the team they're fighting.
It is Bitey turned into a chicken, taken down, and the captain of SK already falling. 25 players remain.
Well, this is the other team.
This is the other team. They just took down everyone.
Joe left. Now, here's the thing. The other team was more balanced. You notice they had a pip, probably
They did.
healed.
They had heals.
They had some heals on them.
It's a risk.
In this particular format, you probably want to have some of everything.
Oh, baby, Joe. We've seen him in this position before, cold and alone.
Now,
His
you will
team
be
no
able to
longer with him.
play this in some additional formats, like a 2-man team. So there will be different styles of gameplay to it due to the number of players that are on.
Joe is just not enjoying the luxury of the loot he's had during his 2-time back-to-back World Championship run here in the Expo Hall in Paladins Battlegrounds. And Ayres, this is not a separate client. This is not a separate download. This is just another mode in Paladins.
It's free to play, and it's just a mode in Paladins. So all of your skins will work on it. Any cards that you've gotten will work in it.
Legendaries, loadouts, things you're used to seeing. And there's a nice shot. We've got this squad. They've cleaned up 3 already. This actually, I believe, was the squad that took down Joe. And Joe's still alive, but Bitey and that squad did fall to the wayside. 2 epics for this Cassie right here. Looking for the shots. He's got 4 frags. Nice cleanup from him. They're well within the play zone. Joe's just got to play this one slow. And he's basically praying and hoping that when this gets down to the wire, he can either get lucky, swoop into a fight that's going on between 2 other teams. But if he runs into the 1v4 situation that he did yesterday, I just don't know if he'll be able to pull it out.
Well, what he needs to do is look for teams that are fighting and then help them fight each other and clean up.
Ooh, this is a nice little fight going on here. This is the revive state. So as long as this chicken holds still, your teammates can hold R and press and get you back up. Pip's going to get up. He's going to hop in right back into the action.
And there's back to Joe in the wilderness.
Joe in the wilderness riding around. And he getting it, just looking for that legendary chest. That's a purple beam, meaning it's unlooted Joe. He's going to have to get geared if he wants to have a chance.
I think there are some other players there. There might be just one, though. Maybe he can do a fast swap.
He can.
Can he do the fast swap?
He's going to go
somebody already took it.
Epic.
Oh, if he can take down this person, he'll probably get the legendary from them.
They have it. Looking for it.
Oh, nice missiles.
This is probably a pretty favorable range for Joe to fight at, as well as being uphill. Willow, a projectile-based character, but she is really taking it to him. 3,200 HP, about 50% of the way there. And Joe's not going to be getting that out-of-combat regen. I think he realizes this. Chooses to dismount, but he's running into some more trouble. He's got to get downhill. He's going to try to mount up around this tree. If he can get downhill, clear line of sight, he'll do it.
Run, Joe, run.
Onto the horse once again, but hit scan. Ruckus is going to be able to take him down, or at least off his mount from a long distance. 20 players remain, and Joe running out of room to work with.
And we are hoping to let everybody start testing this in about 2 months from now.
Somewhere during the first quarter, what I think we heard in the keynote. This is a Ruckus outfitted, a little heavier than Joe. He's got a full team around him. And that's going to prove very useful. He's got his ultimate available as well. And talk about how the ultimate economy works in this game mode as opposed to a traditional Paladins PC match. Are they going to be charging over time passively, or do you have to engage in combat to get these ultimates up?
To get the ultimates, you have to fight. Now, you see Joe actually built up. No, that's not Joe.
That is not Joe. That is the team that killed him.
That's the team that killed him, and he has an ultimate ready. You typically only get 1 or maybe 2 ultimates if you even last 25 minutes of the typical match time for this. There's 19 players left, and it looks like this is a full team. There have been a few, since we've shown this mode at the show here, there have been several teams who have been playing nonstop, just about.
Grinding, waiting
and
for the opportunity.
They know what to do at this point.
Joe does not have his ultimate. He's got this Sarah's poked pretty low. I like his chances here. He's running out of HP. Joe!
You know, it was a good try, but there was just too many there. And
oh, God, and the slide, the corpse down the mountain.
That was the end of Joe. Maybe next match we'll let him pick whatever he wants.
Utter humiliating defeat. But that's the beauty of the mode, Hi-Rez, is that the 8 champions they have this round could be a completely fresh batch in the next.
Every match, it's 8 random champions, and therefore you're going to have a different experience each time.
Maybe they'll be looking to form a little bit of a different composition next time around. They went for a 3 front line, 1 damage. They didn't have a lot of mobility to work with. They didn't have any sustain. Frankly, they just got a little bit split up at the start. If they had engaged as a unit.
Yeah, I think if they had the 4 people there fighting that initial fight, they could have taken that.
I think they could have
and
as well.
They especially needed, whoever had the legendaries there, needed to.
Right.
They needed to pull through. Now, we don't know what the legendaries were because they picked them up and left. So it may have been just purely defensive legendaries, which they should have given the tank at that particular point. But if it's plus 100 damage, that should have gone to the DPS.
Reloading. 1 frag. This squad's found their first. They have the mother load. That is a big, bad damage legendary. 100% additional damage, as well as having the effects of what is essentially Wrecker 3 in the traditional item store. There's a lot of things in Paladins Battlegrounds that reward the aggressive play. You can hunt other players down. You know exactly where the airdrops are going to be, as well as you're not gaining passive ultimate charge. So if you want your biggest, baddest ability, you're going to have to fight for it, as well as the fact that you will not receive your out-of-combat regeneration if you're running away on your horse. You have to be 10 toes down to the battlefield to receive that.
And I do see some purple in the back, so it might be time to pick those up.
But look at this circle. I mean, the map is 300 times the size of a Paladins map, but it is quickly closing down.
Shrinking very quickly.
To a traditional, and you can see fog covering.
Here's a Cassie with 2 legendaries.
Oh, boy.
And I don't know what the legendaries are exactly.
That's the Motherlode, as well as the Eternal Plating. So it's got, on the Motherlode, we just talked about it, team of 4 versus 3 here. Good odds. 4,300, 4,400 life steal, additional health from other players. So you're looking at life rip, rejuvenate, as well as the fact that it just increases Cassie's base HP health to 4,400. The Motherlode, her offensive weapon slot items giving her plus 100% damage, anti-heal, damage to shields. It's all available for this Cassie. They do not have the means to fight this. This is an uphill battle, both literally and figuratively.
Cassie's like a mini tank right now.
She does have 40 and the 30% lifesteal. So if this squad doesn't have an anti-heal item in their weapon slot, she is going to have her way with them.
Well, the problem is
very careful about how they engage.
It is 2 versus 3, and we don't know.
Oh no, this was a 4v3 turned into a 4v2.
Well,
so
now that's a different team.
That's off. Okay.
That's a 4-person team.
We've only got 10 players remaining. This is a top 10 situation. The fog. Next play zone marked, closing in 23 seconds. They're looking for the pop shots here. This Cassie, she's going to have great chip damage as a result of that legendary weapon slot.
Look at those hits.
Big frag. 9 players remaining. Someone's gone down. A buck found a pip somewhere off. 8 players remaining. People are starting to fall. That Ruckus is low HP. Turn into a chicken. But Cassie, prioritization here is important. She's not worried about those chickens. They'll die. They'll expire on their own. What happens if this fog touches the chickens?
Instant chicken death.
They cannot be picked up down, but not out. Turn to down for good.
Look
Quick
at
check
for
the loot. There it is.
The first win goes to team.
Those guys.
Those guys.
Those guys. Hey, those guys
back there.
Real quick before you queue up those guys, come on down here.
Maybe we can get a camera on them. They can get their moment of glory.
To the desk. That is their moment of glory. They're up on stage. Wave to the camera, boys. You've earned it. We've got a couple of prizes here.
There's the winner team.
Merchandise.game sponsoring the prize pool for today's Paladins Battlegrounds tournament. We've got a couple of coupons down here for the winners. Come on down, boys, off the stage. You earned it. They had that nice balanced composition. They had their Pip. They had their Cassie. There they are. the first winners. But that's not all. We've played, you know, but one game.
Nice job, everyone.
Here in the Expo Hall. For the most, a handshake from the CEO. I don't know how I'm going to follow that up.
Give him the...
Come on around here, boys.
Give them the goods.
Give them their goods. Merchandise.game coupons for you.
Everybody gets one.
Head over to their booth. They've got all kinds of great products here. We've got a couple on the desk. Congratulations. Now get your butts back on stage.
And the bigger question is, was it fun?
And get another W.
It was a lot of fun. Great.
All righty.